All right, y'all know what the fuck going on, man. We live with another one, man. Step up to the motherfucking mic. We back with a real special guest. Can you tell them who you are and what you do in the city?
Hey, y'all. It is Britnee Posey, a.k.a. Posey the Plug, host of the Namaste Grinding podcast.
Facts. Tell me about that, because I recently did my own little research and was looking into that, and it looked really nice with what you got going on, and I like the name. Can you repeat that one more time so they understand it clearly?
Yes, indeed. So it's Namaste Grinding. And the whole concept of it is finding peace in the hustle and balance in the grind. And really just, I have guests on there just sharing their Namaste grinding moment.
Right.
Which is the moment that you felt like you wanted to give up and wave your white flag and just call it one. Like, when did you have to tell yourself, nah, I'm going to stay grinding? And what did that look like?
Right. What did that look? Hey, that's really dope. And like, how did that concept come up for you, in the mix of making the podcast? Like, how did that come up for you?
Right. Okay. So, funny story. Originally, it started off as like a workout brand, right? I wanted to make it like that because I had been trying to lose weight for like 10 years, right?
Right.
And I was like, if I hadn't, I'd probably be on my 600-pound life with a dude that just want to shave my legs and make me steak type shit, But
shout out to them who did it, though. They did.
But I just kept showing up for myself, right?
Right.
No matter what, no matter if I backslid, gained some weight back, whatever. And then, so that's what it was, and that's what it was going to be. And then I had a tragic incident in my life, and then that's all I could think about is I was in a moment where I wanted to give up, where it was looking dark, where I didn't know if I was going to live, die, walk, not walk, like I just had gotten a really bad car accident. And I was like, oh shit, I'm going to have to start from ground zero. And all I could think of is the brand that I made the year before. And I was like, nah, I'm going to stay grinding.
Right. Facts.
So
that's a good way to look at it. And just going through that type of trauma and traumatic experience, like, what was that like as when you went through that, what was the thought process like? How was you able to manage and be able to break out of that to be who you are right now?
Yeah, that's a really great question. Man, it really took, to be honest, it took people around me. My self-doubt at the time. So what happened is I got hit by a Hummer truck and ejected out the vehicle.
A Hummer truck? What
and
sheesh. Tough body.
Look, let me tell you, God is great.
You hear me?
Okay, so and I say that every time I get a chance. But in that moment, my whole physical body was not useful to me because it did not work, right?
Right.
So I just didn't know what that was going to look like. And really what it boiled down to was the people around me could see stuff I couldn't see, right? I have a really good brother of mine, shout out James Cooper, came through and he said, yo, I woke up, I was in a coma, woke up out of my coma, and he was like, yo, sis, I just want to let you know, like, you alive for a reason. This is a miracle. I think that I could see public speaking for you. It's time for you to start taking those roles. And I was like, how can you see public speaking for me? Bro, I can't stand up. I can only wiggle my big toe on my right side.
Wow. How long ago did this happen?
This happened in the end of 2022.
This was recent. That's very recent.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's been a healing journey. That's why I've been off, you know what I'm saying? Off the scene.
Oh, so lots of praise to you. And I appreciate you even taking the time to come fuck with me and do the show, you know what I mean? Because that's a lot of adversity to get over, and still be pushing, knowing that you, like you said, you was at a point of where you wanted to give up, and you said, fuck that, I'm going to stay grinding. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
nah, I'm going to stay grinding. So
period.
I appreciate that, During your process of, who you are today, what did you do before the podcast?
Before the podcast, I really worked a lot in community. I just really felt like I have a heart that's made to serve. I just allow God to use me every single day.
Yeah.
In whatever way, wherever he take me, I go.
Right.
He had taken me really to a point of being a young professional here in Minneapolis. So I had joined the Urban League Twin Cities Young Professionals and really grew there. Before that, I was a completely different person.
Right.
I wasn't seen. I was in spots I didn't belong in, and they say, like, just because you fit somewhere don't mean that that's where you're supposed to be.
No, real shit, though.
And I kept finding myself in them situations.
Right.
And so then I ended up moving to Minneapolis, finding the Urban League Twin Cities Young Professionals. And I didn't have a formal education. And I'm in meetings and stuff with people who, in my eyes, I look up to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, oh my gosh, like, this is Black excellence.
Right.
And so just finding myself in those rooms And then finally growing into myself and getting past imposter syndrome, knowing that going from feeling I don't deserve to be here to I'm walking up in this room like God sent me here.
Right. That's what's up.
Yeah.
And that's how you're supposed to walk in, confident. You know what I mean? Confident, like you know what's gonna happen. Hey, I'm winning this. Whatever it is, I'm winning. So that's definitely. So let's double back real quick. So you mentioned earlier that, you were saying like you wanted to lose weight. You know what I mean? Like, what's pushing you back and what's stopping you from doing it now?
Oh, well, nothing's stopping me from doing it now. I'm actually on a really good track.
Okay.
So just getting back, what really stopped me, hold on. Let me get my thoughts together.
Okay.
So
I know it was bringing it back.
Yeah, because I have to go back to 2022.
Right.
And I was this is when I'm in the height of my Namaste grinding. Like I'm grinding at the time to lose weight. And I'm working out with my trainer 3 times a week. Like I'm getting up early, 6 a.m. workouts,
Yeah.
And it was great. And I was getting mad at my trainer because I felt like I wasn't losing weight, right? I'm like, I'm putting in this work. I'm meal prepping salmon, broccoli, like what is going on?
Yeah.
And the composition of my body was changing.
Right.
And I didn't know. He actually, like 2 months before my accident, pulled me in and was like, yo, let's work on your back. And it was just like the craziest thing. He had me doing hills, ropes, and I'm killing it.
Right.
I've been a big girl pretty much for the most of my life, but I've always been agile.
Right.
Very active, very quick.
Yeah.
Like I'm strong.
Right. And but the only reason why I asked, because I went on my journey. I was 268 pounds like 2 years ago.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, I was a big guy. My stomach was out there as well. I was like, if I show you my old videos, you'd be like, damn, okay, you was kind of big. You know what I mean? So I went on that, and for me, it was I just stayed consistent in the gym. I know it could be different for women for how the training it can be. My training was more vigorous because I was like, I really wanted to change that shit. You know what I mean? So
right.
And my life I was going through a spiral, like I said, of giving up and not knowing what to do. And I was at a standpoint of, do I want to make a change or do I want to continue to be the same person? And it was just something that clicked, and I got up and I just started going to the gym literally every single day. Like you said, 6 a.m, I'm making it to the gym at 5:30 in the morning. Literally, I have a regimen. I just came from the gym earlier, did 2.5 hours. You know what I mean? So I'm consistent now. You know what I mean? And I feel like people need the motivation sometimes and the extra push from other people just to see it. So you gave me motivation just to continue to keep going and I know how hard it could be. You know what I mean? Just from starting out, because I wanted to give up the first day I went to the gym. People ask me at times like, how you able to keep going now, man? You got lots of motivation. I'm like, it's not motivation, it's discipline. It's a big difference between that. So once you understand them two, trust me, I can see bigger things happening for you. You'll be like, damn, in 5-6 months, like I look completely different. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I keep pushing. You got it. And like I said, I see the success because that's why I asked. I'm deep into training, deep into working out. So that's why I asked. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, shout out to you.
I appreciate it.
Because it's hard. Like as someone who has lost weight and then gained it back, then lost weight, you know, it just it's building those atomic habits, waking up and showing up for yourself every day.
Facts.
And so and then of course I got in my accident and then I had to restart.
Yeah, and that was where I was coming from. Like, how does that keep you pushing through that? And you explained that beautifully. So I definitely appreciate that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, let's go back to a different one. So let's talk about relationships. Like, are you married?
Am I married?
Yeah.
No, I'm not married.
Are you in a relationship?
I am not in a relationship.
What are your thoughts about being in a relationship in this era, specifically this era?
My thoughts about being in a relationship. So funny thing, I just got out of a relationship or situationship, entanglement. I don't know what you want to call it. But I think that what I just learned, my biggest lesson was it's very important for both individuals to continue self-growth while you're in a relationship.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel like in our generation, we kind of lose sight because we want to keep our eyes and stay on someone's ass,
right. Yeah.
I'm on your heels. Like, what you doing? And it's like, really, we should be in a thought process. Well, I should be. I can't say we. I can only talk about what I've been through. I should have been just more in a process of, let me just focus on me.
Right.
And make sure that I'm continuously growing, continuously learning and evolving, and doing my own part to do it for myself and not relying on my partner to feed into me.
Yeah.
Even though that they will do that, and that should be extra. Right.
So basically she's saying, come already happy. You ain't nobody got time to make you happy. You got to come happy so we can make each other happy. We ain't finna be doing that. Oh, I'm unhappy and I think you'll be a good fit to make me. Nah, fuck that. Come happy or don't come over here. You know what I'm saying? Just don't come over here.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Because it's nobody else's responsibility.
Yeah. So let me ask you about this. You know how a lot of people say they single. Like, so when you talking to somebody, what is your definition of somebody being single? Like when they say they're specifically single.
I just think that okay, so you got to look at it like a human experience, right? Mm-hmm. So when you're single, you're dating, you're interacting with other people, and you're kind of looking for the one. Sometimes, and sometimes you are, sometimes you're not, right?
Right.
But I feel like when you're single, you're just having a human experience, and you're coming across different people, and some relationships are just different than others, and it's okay for that to be lucid like that when you're single.
I mean, the only reason why I ask this question is because, like, I know a lot of people, they be like, oh, I'm single. And this is my thing about being single. When I know I was single, I had nobody to call, right? So I feel like when you get, like, somebody to call, like, most women be like, oh, I'm single, and they be having sex with a lot of people. And then they be having somebody to call for those needs. To me, those are like relationship needs or those specific needs that you're asking for because that's what you're going to get in a relationship. So I feel like if you have somebody you sleeping with, you ain't single. You know what I mean? Especially if you can call, hey, I can call this person can give me money, this person can do this. You ain't single necessarily.
That's a good point.
So that's my whole thing. It's about, like, when you say you single, that means you got to be masturbating by yourself. You got to be doing all these things solely to completely, because you got women that, oh, I'm a single mother, but then they got all these dudes helping her. It's not technically single. You have help. You know, having the help is not single.
So then here's my question.
Yeah.
So let's say you in a relationship and you kind of are doing things by yourself and your partner isn't someone that you call for help, but you saying that you're in a relationship. Are you then single?
You might as well get out of that relationship because why is you? You know what I mean? Like, get out of the relationship. You know what I mean? Because like, and that's the thing. Like, people sit in these relationships knowing that they unhappy and sit there and be like, oh, I believe and I think and I'm imagining it working. Several years later, 7 years later, you still like
mad.
You get what I'm saying? So it's like, get the fuck away.
Or even worse, in the same spot.
Right, even worse. You know what I mean? So like, it's like, get away. Why do you continue to stay, man or woman? Like, why do people continue to play the games that they play every day? Like when I tell people, like, it's a certain way somebody got to talk to you, right? So like, you know how hood dudes, right? We talk a certain type of way. It's just the fact that when we come home, most of us talk that same way to our woman, and that's what's really fucking up the dynamic. You know what I mean? Like, the wordplay we choosing, and it's leading to the kids as well. It's all fucking up the dynamic. Like, I don't know, like, it's a lot of shit to plug into that shit. I don't want to get too deep into, all the other shit, but I just had to throw that out there because I just feel like if people stuck, just get the fuck out of there. You know what I mean? Because otherwise you're going to be bringing in bad habits to this person who probably life wasn't even meant for that shit. You know what I mean? So that's my whole thing.
Well, let me ask you this. So I would consider myself a single woman, right? But I have men that I could call. These are platonic relationships, though.
Nothing sexual.
Nothing sexual.
So my thing is right now, if you was able to pick up the phone and be like, look, ooh, I just need somebody to stay with me tonight, they not gonna be like, all right, come on, you sure? Because men are like that. Men are wired sexually. You mean to tell me if these men had the opportunity to actually love on you, like if you was to be like, hey, I'm trying to be on that type of time. If they only platonic, they'll tell you no. We just friends.
I have platonic relationships.
They just gonna say
I have platonic relationships. I have guy friends where if I'm talking about sex, I'm like, I'm not. You like my sister.
Do they have wives or themselves?
They have that are in relationships. I just posted a picture on my story about my birthday dinner. The men that came together and organized the dinner from these are platonic relationships.
I bet you ain't gonna call them right now and see if they gonna do it.
What you mean?
You gonna call them right now and see?
And say what?
And just be like, look, I'm going through something. I just want to know if you'll be there for me tonight.
Do you know how they gonna look at me 10 karat crazy and be like, you crazy as hell? Like, you are crazy as hell.
No, I just want to see if you talking about.
Like, what is you talking about? Like, sis, what is you talking about? But that was something that I recently learned when I moved to Minnesota. Yeah. Actually, I was like one of them late bloomers. I didn't start, interacting and exchanging energy with men until my 20s. So then I was like, I was kind of off the chain. I was like, oh my God, I got a coochie. This what it do? But it was just like it was too much. And so I had to go through a whole learning stage with that. Yeah. And just understanding them, like, this is my body. This is my temple. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then getting misused by a lot of men, not a lot.
So let me ask you that, like, how you say, like, okay, like a lot of women do say, oh, I'm misused by a lot of men, and then still have men friends. That's the confusing part. So like, how is misused? What is the misuse by a lot of men to be able to still have men friends?
Okay, so that's a great question. So actually, the men that I have in my life right now, my platonic relationships, that's what makes it hard for me to accept anything else. The guy friends that I have, they will put their hand out and allow me to hold their hand to walk across the street. They'll open the door for me. They'll, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then...
And the only reason why I say that and look like that is because a lot of men do that and they waiting for an opportunity. What I'm saying is it's a waiting game. A lot of them will wait their turn before they, like, all right, look, if I'm really fucking with you, no matter what it is, I could say you a friend. You know what I mean? I've been around plenty of people who've done that. And it just, it's a waiting game most people will play. There's people waiting for me to slip up with my woman right now. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure they're waiting for that opportunity. They're going to easily, if she was supposed she's single right now, motherfucker going to be in that inbox. What I'm saying is it's the opportunity being presented. You may not present it just at the moment, but say for instance, y'all vibing, they may give you a type of hug that's not platonic.
Okay, so let me tell you what I know. So one, and I'm not even trying to toot my own horn or be cocky, right? But I'm a special individual.
Right.
I grew up a tomboy. I didn't start dressing like a female till I was 21.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I dressed
Where'd that come from? Where'd that phrase come from?
I was just always a tomboy. So I always had male platonic friends. So it wasn't weird to me.
That makes sense.
So I can conduct myself around men without thinking about anything sexual.
Right, because you're thinking like a man. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes...
So that's why, like, it has been nothing to me. I've always gotten along better with men than females because females were so emotional and I always hung out with the fellas.
That's deep.
And so...
That's deep right there. That got to be talked about too, about, you know, how most women looking at y'all look at other women as too emotional. So why don't women listen to each other when y'all say that?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm one of those people who I accept criticism.
Right.
I'm not too good for nobody to tell me about me. You can tell me about me, but it better be right.
Right. At least be honest with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, don't fabricate the story. But that's the thing too. A lot of women, they don't accept the truth. So it's like, you know what I mean? You could tell them, and I'm pretty sure you see a lot of your homies, like you said, your platonic friends, they probably telling these women the truth, and the women still like, you know what I mean? So
I've seen, with having a lot of male friends, I've seen it.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm gonna be real. So then after just being a woman, and then living in it, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is why they felt this way. You know?
Right.
And a lot of it just really had to do with falling in love with the idea of something before getting to know like who you're trying to build with. Right. So, you know, women, we trick ourselves sometimes. Like we do it to ourselves, and then we get to acting crazy, and then we be like, bitch, what? Why are you tripping? You know what I'm saying? But you knew the whole time, no matter whatever the situation was. And most of the time we do know, but we try to fall in love with that imaginary story in our mind, the imagination, the potential of what something would, could, or should be, which is all a cognitive distortion. That's a delusion. If you are in a situation and if it ain't what it is, and you're thinking what it would, could, or should be, that's a delusion. Right. Your brain is making that up.
So where are you initially from?
So born and raised in Aurora and Rochester, Minnesota.
What was that? What's life like out there? Like,
life is very boring, very dull, very white, very you know, and nothing against it, but it's just like I'm a black woman. You know, I love my culture. I love my culture, so I like to be around my culture. And nothing wrong with the European culture, but I'm black. Right. That's what it is. But there's the town, I lived in a town right outside of Rochester, so not even Rochester. I'm talking like population was like 3,000, 4,000.
So what's your thoughts about Minneapolis as a whole, you know, when it's time to like come together with things? Do you think they're able to come together, or is it just going to be a bunch of drama still, you know?
No, so I don't be with the drama crew. Right. You know, of course we all had situations we might be at the wrong place at the wrong time. Facts. But generally everybody that stays around me and my circle, it's a beautiful thing. It's all love. And even if we got issues, we have literally said, hey, let me what do they say? Let me invite you in. Let me invite you into something.
Let's resolve this real quick. Let's try to make some money off this shit. You know
or even checking each other. We check each other all the time. Like, hey, even if it's a lazy spirit on somebody, if it's a stagnant spirit, like, hey, sis, you know what I'm saying? You good? Because you ain't really moving. I got people, when I don't post my podcast, sis, what's going on? You in the studio or you not? You know?
Right. And that's right. You make music, right?
No, so I'm just in the podcast studio.
Oh, I
don't make
thought you said
music.
earlier that you do make music.
No, so I had my intro song recorded by Big
Oh,
Boss
the
Queen.
intro song. Okay, okay. So whenever I hear intro, I think the first song of the CD, the first song of the album.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's music talk, and that's another story. But yeah,
Right.
definitely. But how have you felt like now, like throughout your life, all the shit that you've been through? How's that been able to get you to keep pushing right now to just be who you are? Just initially a great person, a quality person that people actually fuck with. Like, how did that that person of you get evolved?
Yeah, I mean, it was really, I know this is going to sound crazy, but taking a lot of stuff on the chin. Taking a lot of stuff on the chin and realizing, like, because a lot of stuff we feel like happened to us and it be so personal.
Right.
And I'm just like, it might have happened to me, but it be happening for other people because it's not a reflection of me.
Right. Oh.
It's a reflection of how other people either interact or whatever. And as many times as I wanted to flip out and be angry, I just stay cool because it always worked out for me.
Right.
Like, it always works out for me.
Right.
I never really end up taking an L, even though it'll look like it. But in the end game, it's always been a win.
Right. No, that's respect though, for real, because that's a lot to go through. Like I said, the adversity is really what make a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So definitely though. What's a message you want to give to people out there? Just about going through their everyday life and saying, nah, I'm gonna stay grinding. You know what I mean? Like, give them a good, positive, inspirational message to the people out there.
I would say, learn when to let go. So that would be learn when to let go of anger, learn when to let go of people, learn when to let go of old situations that don't serve you, and be okay with that. Sometimes people will be like, I mean, and even in the negative things, whether you mess up, it's a own personal, fuck up on your end.
Right.
Being able to address that and be like, hey, I was wrong in this situation. It's okay. I was wrong. I was confused. Bob Proctor, he's a motivational speaker. He's like, he always says from confusion comes lessons. So allow yourself to be confused sometimes.
Yeah.
Even when you have to let go, you might be confused, but out of that will come a lesson, and just be cool with it.
No, real shit though. That make a lot of sense because a lot of people, they be like, oh, I don't know it, and then they get mad about the shit. Like, bro, just chill, relax, man. It'll come to you later. You know what I'm saying? It's like one of those funny jokes you don't get now. It hit you in the car. You know what I mean? One of those. But you know how it go. People mental because they doing everything else but the right thing, and that's why. You know what I mean? But definitely, you want to give out any shout outs out there to the people?
Really just for shout outs, just my whole circle, my whole tribe, everybody who continued to pour into me, even when I didn't feel like I could do it myself, when I couldn't fill my own cup. We talk about happiness being our own responsibility. At the time when I couldn't even hold my own happiness, make sure that your we is strong. Yeah. That they there to help you and that they gonna carry you, when you can't do it yourself. So
have a good support team. Yeah, definitely.
I love y'all.
Definitely. That's real shit, man. That's real shit, man. And tell them where they can find you and all that shit on the platforms. Okay,
most definitely. So on YouTube, don't sleep on your girl. I got my Namaste Grinding podcast. So make sure y'all tap in to Namaste Grinding on YouTube.
Tap in.
I am on Facebook. I got the Namaste Grinding podcast page. Also Britnee Posey. On Instagram, Namaste Grinding and Posey the Plug.
Y'all know what's going on. Tap in on all that shit. Links will be in the motherfucking description. Y'all know what to do. Like, share, subscribe, comment, all that shit. Y'all better tap the fuck in. This is something new right here. We got more on the way. And I'm going to be featured on her shit too because I got some shit to say because now I'm going to stay grinding too, motherfucker. On the next one, step up to the motherfucking mic, man. We out this bitch.